Hello and welcome. This is Rooflemonger, and my friends, we have the big Guilty Gear balance patch coming right around the corner. And going by what Arc System Works has been hyping us for some months now, it's going to be a big one, right? On top of character balance changes, there's also going to be some system level changes. And I guess we'll have to wait and see how that works. But obviously, come time for a patch, certain people are going to get buffed, and certain people, well, they're probably going to eat some nerfs. Last patch, someone like Angie got a lot of buffs, but people argue maybe even though he got tons of buffs, it still isn't enough. Whereas someone like a Leo, now Leo, he didn't really need anything. He's pretty good as he stands, but he still got something small. So they're definitely not afraid to give people who are already good more stuff. So I guess today's video is a little bit of a thought experiment, a little bit of let's see where this will go. Who is potentially in line for more buffs come the new patch, and who potentially might get nerfed? So I guess when we gotta look with number one of the bullet, the much maligned Faust has to probably be number one character in line for buffs. He definitely got stuff that helped, like the fact that his super can now wall break in the last patch, that was nice. You know, it helped up his overall damage potential, because that's one of the bigger issues with the character, is his damage potential is pretty weak. Yes, he's got bigger normals than most people and all that kind of stuff. That is great, but his damage potential is not necessarily too scary from there. Like if I hit you from here, like, and I get my end toss, that's a lucky one, I guess. Even though completely missed, there you go, right? But that's not too scary. That's not a big deterrence, right? And even though crouching heavy slash got buffed on the range, it's still not a lot more buffed, you know? You can still definitely whiff at a lot of ranges. So what does Faust need more than anything else? Like, short of giving him new moves and all that kind of stuff, the big thing he needs is, frankly, damage. He has to do a lot more. He has to win a lot more interactions per match than a normal character does to win, right? Say a normal character, I don't know, 3 or 4 solid touches to kill you, right? And depending on the character, like Nagoriyuki, maybe that's like 2 solid touches to kill you. And he just needs usually at least 1 or 2 more touches to kill you than a normal character. And that's really where a lot of the problem lies. Buffing singular moves can help, and I'm sure he will get buffs to various moves. But just upping his damage a little bit across the board, I think, would be one of the best things to help him out at this point. Just so he's not 1 more interaction behind the average character in time it takes you to beat your opponent. Honestly, who even knows? I'm sure they're going to go crazy unexpected ways with this character when it comes to buffs, because he already has like so many obviously unique interactions to work with compared to the average character. And like, you know, instant overheads and all that kind of stuff with the afro. He has a command grab, although the command grab is not too scary compared to some of the other command grabs. Potemkin Buster this is not, right? But it's going to be very interesting to see where they go with Faust. Now, Goldlewis, obviously another lower tier character that needs help. Now, he doesn't have the problem Faust has, right? When it comes to damage, Goldlewis has potentially the highest damage output in the game overall in a lot of the right scenarios, right? But the problem is, of course, is it's rough for him to get to those scenarios. It's hard for him to get to those scenarios. One of the things I see a lot of people want nerfed and changed is just the guard crush mechanic. Because, well, when you get guard crushed, you're in for a world of hurt for the most part. But the problem is, Goldlewis needs the guard crush. That's the one thing. Like, when he knocks you down and he makes you block, you know, your first guard crush in these plus frames, that's finally the position he wants to be in. He worked the whole game to get there. And if, say, guard crushes change and all of a sudden you can, you know, yellow Roman cancel out of it, that ruins a lot of his ability. So who knows if that's the way they're going to go, but that's the one situation he, like, truly excels in, right? But what could be better for him, and one of the things immediately comes to mind is, besides fixing the normals, which I've talked about for a very long time now, the drones. Because the drones, frankly, I don't think they work the way they wanted them to work fully. Because if I'm trying to get in, and I got a level 2 drone, the problem is, nope, that's not a get-in tool. It's already really slow as it is, like, it doesn't threaten people, it definitely doesn't go full screen, right? I would definitely like to see the level 2 version go further, and the level 3 version just fully go actual full screen. Like, it'll go the length of one screen, but as soon as you travel just a little bit past the main screen, the level 3 version goes away. It is at no point like an actual threat at that point, because like, see, ain't happening, right? So I definitely would love to see them go further and maybe a little smidge bit faster. He struggles in neutral, we all know this, right? He has cool things, but a lot of the things that are cool can be pretty unsafe. So give him the one tool, the one thing that's supposed to help him control the screen, and actually make it exactly that. Let him control the screen with it. Another thing I would like to see is the minigun. It doesn't need to be fast startup, but maybe at level 2 or level 3, give him like a hit of armor to work with. Because a lot of times it's simply, you have the right idea, you sort of made the right call, it's just too dang slow and you just get hit out of it, right? A singular hit of armor would make it much more usable, for sure. Once again, just like Faust, who knows the direction they truly want to go in? These are just some of my thoughts on the matter. Now, someone potentially in line for a nerf is Nagoriyuki. He's definitely now one of the more complained about characters in the game. Even though gameplay-wise, almost nothing about him has changed from launch till now, he's now sort of a villain of the game. Before, if you asked for nerfs, if you go back like a month and a half ago or something, people would laugh at you like, dude, he's one of the worst characters in the game. Why would you want to nerf one of the worst characters in the game? And now, well, frig, right? Oh my god, spin the wind, Beyblade, killing the game's too strong, right? So he's definitely taken a giant perception shift, for sure. Going from low tier underdog to top tier villain, and almost nothing actually changing in the meantime. So the thing is, public perception has shifted on him, but does he actually need to be nerfed? One of the things is, in the first patch they demonstrated, they're willing to give some nerfs, yes, sure, absolutely, but they're also kind of buffing certain other aspects of the character, and I wonder if maybe that's where they might want to go this time. If any move is going to get nerfed, it is definitely Beyblade. I did a top 10 list of best special moves in the game, right, and I put that at number 1. And for very good reason, because it's an absolutely ignorant and ridiculous move. You get everything off it, and all it costs you is a little bit of blood gauge, and nowadays, now that we know how to work Nagoriyuki, having a bit of blood gauge isn't that bad to work with, because now we get access to our better normals, right? All I know for sure is balancing Nagoriyuki is a very precarious act, because one nerf or buff, one way or the other, can definitely set him on a big slide. You nerf, say you nerf Beyblade, or maybe you up his blood gauge or something, right? All of a sudden, the whole game plan goes out the window. But anything else that gets maybe a little bit of buff, that whole thing could go out of the window as well. So a character I would like to see buffed is Potemkin. I know, okay, hang on, shut up. Shut up, I know, shut up. Yeah, I know you hate Garuda Impact. I made a lot of videos telling all you guys how to deal with the Garuda Impact. So get over it, okay? Just hear me out. The one and only thing I want to see changed that's a buff for Potemkin is Heavenly Potemkin Buster. It is one of the signature moves of the franchise, and in its current state, it is garbage. In the older betas, it was worthwhile to use, right? You can actually realistically catch people. The problem is the range on the move is god-awful, the invincibility runs out too quick, and it just isn't usable in the way you really want to use it. So just buff the range on it. Make him move a little bit further, a little bit faster, so you can catch people from just a little bit further away, and that's it. As for Garuda Impact, handle it. Control yourselves. Watch the videos. You know what? I would like to see Garuda Impact just be multi-hit, because it look cooler when it hits you. How about that? But yeah, honestly, seriously, all jokes aside, just Heavenly Potemkin Buster, I remember in the betas, it was very fun to use. It was an actual deterrent, and it's not scary anymore. And I just want it to see a little bit of respect on the name. That's what I want to see out of Potemkin. As for just other nerfs as a blanket thing, like let's look at someone like Soul. Is Soul still basically the best character in the game? Yeah, kinda, pretty much. Like you could argue maybe it's Leo, maybe it's Nagoriyuki, right? But in the end, you know, Soul's still the poster boy. He still makes sense if you want to say someone's the best. Does he really need to be nerfed at this point? Honestly, in my opinion, nah, it's all right. In the history of me playing fighting games, you know, if Saul is truly considered the best character in the game, he's one of the most fair and fun top tiers to fight, right? Arcade Edition Yun, he is not. Yeah, he's overwhelming, he does a lot of damage, he's got a million things to do, but I never feel like it's completely unfair. I actually have a lot of fun fighting Soul most of the time, and sometimes in a lot of other games, I honestly can't say that. Other people that are considered very strong, Leo, will Leo get nerfs? Who knows, maybe. Like, I won't cry if he's not nerfed. Yet, I'm not gonna fight for him either if he does, right? We're in a weird spot. I actually think the top tier balance is pretty good as it stands. Not to say it doesn't need some shakeups, because shakeups are always fun. Not to say it doesn't need some adjustments, because adjustments are always fun. But I'm pretty okay with it. At this point here, a lot of the characters that are more iffy, a lot of the characters that need more help, these are the characters I'd rather see the attention get to. Bring them up to the level of, your stronger characters, and then we can worry about cutting out the top tier characters with a knife, right? But yeah, I think even though it's very early in the game's life overall, right? We're not even 6 months in, and most fighting games last for years and years and years. Considering the early state of the game's life we're in, I think things are pretty okay when it comes to the top tiers, anyways. Now, how about some of the other low tier characters, right? There's definitely some characters, they still need more. We talked about Faust, we talked about Goldlewis, those are some of the more obvious examples. Angie, even though he had a full meal, he got tons of stuff, lots of people say he can use a bit more. And, well, what could he use more? Like, maybe faster butterfly startup? That would be nice, because as it stands, it takes a long time to get that bad boy out there. A lot of people say he suffers in neutral, but, not every character needs to have every single strength, right? His strength is definitely bypassing neutral with spins and pressure, right? So maybe up the pressure, and a faster butterfly, better startup can definitely help with that. Another character much maligned is Kai. Kai, he's kinda just been sitting around for most of the game's life, right? No one considers him a threat. I, personally, consider him a bit better than the average person would give him credit for, but I definitely would never accuse him of being top tier or nothing like that, right? So what can the boy use? Like stuff in the previous patch, Stand Slash definitely finally got a lot better, so he has a much more reliable poke. But a lot of the things is his frame data. The boy is real negative on a lot of things. Like, the recovery on some of his projectiles, that's real bad. It's real negative, and I don't think it needs to be that negative. His basic fireball is certainly no game-ending threat. Low medium into fireball is one of the most basic building blocks in the history of fighting games. And doing any normal into this can get you killed. It's antithetical. If you've learned any basics of fighting games, just that concept is very antithetical to everything. You would never be expected to be punished in other fighting games in that scenario, yet in this game, you can and will be. Leave the boy negative, sure, but a proper full punish? That's a bit much. The frame data on the projectiles especially, that could be toned down. That could be a lot more lenient. And then we hit some of the other members of the cast. Someone like a Giovanna, someone like a Milia. Characters you don't really hear talked about in the usual discussions of who needs buffs, who needs nerf, all that kind of stuff. So someone like a Giovanna, someone like a Milia, you know what I want to see? I just want to see straight buffs. Put him in that conversation, right? Give him something to work with. Giovanna is one of the coolest newcomers in fighting game history. I love her, her whole everything is so cool, and yet most people are just oh yeah, whatever. And no one really talks about Giovanna. So someone like her, give her something. I don't even know what, honestly. I couldn't even begin to tell you what I actually want. Just give something. Furthermore, I consider that Axel must be nerfed for all of his crimes of making people be sad and not have fun. And that's where we're at right now. The patch is only days away at this point, and I'm incredibly excited to see how this is all going to turn out, because honestly, who knows? This patch has been hyped for quite some time. That's why I'm hyped, right? Normally, developers don't call the patch ahead of the next patch, but that's exactly what they did in this case. So all I know is it's going to be a big one. And a lot of the universal stuff, we do know there's system/overall balance changes, not character specific. I bet a lot of these system-specific changes will have character-specific effects, right? But I guess we can't know till we have the details. Hopefully the patch notes come a few days from now, and we will have the big patch on Friday. But otherwise, my friends, I guess that's the end of the video for now. So let me know your thoughts on what you want to see on the patch. Who do you want to see buffed? If you need someone nerfed, post why you think they should be nerfed, but post what you think should be nerfed about them. Give a specific example, right? As fun as it is to say, you know, that Nagoriyuki should be nerfed, Axel should be nerfed, post some reasoning. Let's discuss this stuff. And, well, at this point, just to stop myself rambling, let's end the video, I guess. So, my friends, thank you very much for watching. Hope this video has found you well. Go out and play some Guilty Gear.